Hello everyone, it's May here with Ciao Creative Crew, and today we're back for part 2 of our album box. We're going to be creating the album that actually goes inside our box. If you haven't checked it out, please do so. This is what we created in part 1, and today we're creating the little mini album that goes inside this beautiful box. To create this album, we're going to be using the Ciao Notre Vie paper collection. And it's available in the 12 by 12, the A4, the 8 by 8, and the 6 by 6. And if you already didn't know, Notre Vie means our life. It's perfect for, kind of keeping track of some of these special events in your life. So we're going to be using some chipboard, heavyweight cardstock between 80 to 110 pounds, the Notre Vie paper collection from Ciao, some score tape. If you don't know what that is, it's just, double adhesive tape, our scissors, our bone folders. I'm going to use some wet glue, your ruler, and I think your scoreboard and your paper trimmer. And I think that does it. I think that's quite a bit, huh? All right, so let's begin. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to cut 2 pieces of chipboard that measures 4 by 4.5 inch, and you need 2 pieces. Then you need 1 piece for the spine that measures 2 by 4.5 inches, and again, this is a pretty thick weight chipboard. And then to cover your chipboard, we're going to use a piece of heavyweight cardstock, and it's going to measure 6.5 inches by 12 inch. And I like to do a little bit of a cheat thing. I like to kind of know where I'm setting these little chipboard pieces down. So what I do is I create like a little base. And so what we're going to do is we're going to score it at the 1 inch on the 12-inch side, and then you're going to turn it over on the 6.5 inch side, and you're going to score it at 1 inch, and then at 5.5 inch. It kind of gives us a little place for us to be able to place the chipboard without having to, go wonky on it. A little cheat sheet there. Okay, so you have your little guide where your score line is, and that's where you're going to place your chipboard along between those 2 score lines. I don't know if you can see that. So between the 2 score lines is where you're going to place your chipboard. Kind of gives you that little cheat sheet. On the one side, we didn't do that, but we're going to figure it out once we place these down. Okay, so what you're going to do is grab your wet glue. I'm using this one here from Barely Art. You can use whatever, whatever you have. That's doable. I like also to use Fabri-Tac because it dries fairly quick and it doesn't warp. The only thing about Barely Art is, not Barely Art, the Fabri-Tac that it does go through your nails. That's one bummer. Okay, it has acetone in it. Okay, so let's go ahead and hold it down on one place, press down, and if you see through with some glue, just grab a really nice damp cloth or baby wipe, not wet, just semi-damp where it's more dry than anything. Kind of wipe it up. And I'm holding it down on one end, securing it, pressing down with my bone folder. I do have seepage, but that's going to be covered up, so I'm not too concerned about that. Go ahead. Now, if you want to have your little gusset to be exactly the same, you can either take a piece of the chipboard, line it up flushed against that, or your ruler, and that way you'll have even spacing between your little gussets, between the spine and the back and front cover. Okay, and I'm going to go ahead and use my other piece of the chipboard here, flush it against that one chipboard piece, and then kind of line it between the two score line, pressing down. Grab your bone folder, press down. Okay. Now finally, grab this one. And I do happen to have another piece of cardstock here. I'll use that to kind of give me my little gusset that I need. Okay, and get this one. So the length of this is 4.5 and the width is 4 inches, so that you know the 4.5 is the length. All right, shimmy this against here, using those score lines as my guide. Place that down, press down, use your bone folder. Right around here if you get seepage. I'm not too concerned about that. I do get concerned when I see seepage on the outside, you know, areas that it's not going to be covered. That's where your damp cloth will come into handy. Okay, so there we go. We got perfect little gussets in between. Now what you're going to do is kind of give it a little shimmy there, you know, make sure it works. Okay, and then what you're going to do, flip it over from the center out, burnish, center out, getting any air pockets or air bubbles out. Okay, all right, you would have had little 4 corners, little squares. You want to cut those out on all 4 corners. And the one end we don't have it, but you're just going to line your ruler up against your chipboard. See that? Right against it. And right up to that score line. And just kind of snip that off. Okay. Okay. So now you have 4 corners that are cut off. And then you're going to take the butt of your scissors, you're going to butt it up against, right there. You're going to cut it right smack in the, just kind of miter that little edge. You're going to do that all the way around. Okay. So I've cut all my 4 corners and I mitered them, and now I'm just going to glue down the little flaps. Make sure you press down just kind of those little corners, press it in with your bone folder. Use your bone folder to go into that gusset just slightly, not tearing into it, just kind of burnish it in just a little bit. Okay. Same thing on the opposite side. I like to go in right against that chipboard, right on that edge. I didn't even miter this one. Look at me. Considered myself done, and I wasn't. I think it's because I meant to do that. No, just kidding. All right, so then we're just going to, again, glue down our flaps. Okay, so there's our little album. At this point, if you want to add a little eyelet here on the center so that you can add a little charm, you can do so. But the important thing that you need to make sure is that it fits inside our book box. So we're just going to test it, and there we go. It fits snug right in there. Perfect, perfect. All right. So then, now we're going to create the hinge, and to create that, You're going to need a piece of cardstock that's about 80 to 110 pounds, and it's going to measure 4 inches by 7 inches, sorry, 4 inches by 7 inches. And you're going to need your scoreboard because we're going to be scoring. And this is where you'll also need your score tape. So if you want to grab your score tape while we're doing this part, go ahead and grab your score tape. All right, so then we're going to score at 1 inch, 1.5 inch, and there's a little pattern here, and then at 2 inches, and then 2 3/8 of an inch, then at 2 7/8 of an inch, 3 3/8 of an inch, 3/4, 4 1/4, 4 3/4, 5 1/8 of an inch, 5 5/8 of an inch, and at 6 1/8 of an inch. You see the pattern there? We have 2 little flaps here that are about 1 inch. Then you have your hinge, which is actually a 1/2 inch. Your gusset is 3/8 of an inch. So you have 4 pages. Here's 1 page, 2, 3, and 4. Grab your score tape and your bone folder, because we're going to kind of bend that back, your 1 inch back. Okay, then you're going to take your 2 1/2 inch and fold it right in the center. So those are 2 1/2 inches. Grab your other, skip the 3/8 of an inch, grab your 2 1/2 inch and fold those. Okay, skip the 3/8 of an inch, grab your 2 1/2 inch and fold that. I have wonky hands. Okay, then skip your 3/8 of an inch and grab your 2 1/2 inch. Okay, so then you have that one, that one, these two, and then those two. Now, as you kind of figured out, your 3/8 of an inch is the gusset. Now I'm going to fold that 1/2 inch back there. Here's the 3/8 of an inch. Take your next 2 1/2 inch, fold it back, kind of fan it. There's the 3/8. Take the next 2 1/2 inch, fan it away from you is what I'm doing. Here's the 3/8 of an inch. Grab your next 2 1/2 inch, and then kind of made a little fan there. Okay, so then we're going to flip it to the opposite side and grab your score tape, and everywhere where there's a 3/8, which is actually 3 of them, you're going to take your score tape and you're going to apply it on that 3/8 of an inch piece. There's 1, 2 1/2 inches, 3/8 of an inch, oops, 2 1/2 inches, 3/8 of an inch. And on the flaps, you can use score tape. I prefer to just use the wet glue just because it's going to be easier to lay it down. All right, go ahead and burnish those down. Now what you're going to do is you're going to take, on these 1/2 inch ones, you're going to take your wet glue, and on just on the one side, oops, I guess it works if I take the little pin off. You're going to take some glue just on one, squeeze those two together, and fold it back if you want, and and burnish it in. Okay, then you have your 3/8 of an inch. You know it's the score line, or the score tape, sorry. And then you're going to take on the next two, take some more glue, squeeze those two together. Next one, I'm going to do it all the way to the end. Okay. Okay, so this is what you're left with. Yeah, two flaps that are your 1 inches, and then you have your 1/2 inches that you join together, and then your gusset is the one where you apply your score tape. So you're left with this. Okay, go ahead and bring your little cover over. And now you're going to need another piece of cardstock, and this one measures 2 inches by 4 3/8 of an inch. 2 inch by 4 3/8, and I left about 1/8 of an inch on top and bottom. Go ahead and apply that down. Just like so. I'm going to lift it up so I can see. And then go ahead and use your bone folder. And kind of get that nice and burnished on the edges. Now I'm going to go ahead and grab, because this is where I don't want any seepage. So I grab my little damp cloth. Okay, so then you're going to take, and this is a 4 inch. Now we know that the length of our album spine is 4 1/2 inch. So if you want, grab your ruler and make some little marking with a pencil and mark it at 1/4 inch top and bottom, just so that you know where you're placing your little hinge. It just kind of gives you a nice guide to be able to put it down nice and straight. And about you guys, I have a issue when things are not perfectly straight. Okay, so go ahead and make a little marking. Gives you a little guideline as to, you know, you're going to lay it right on those, between those two markings, and kind of helps you. So if you can see, there's my markings, and I have it on top and bottom. Okay, so then grab something to pull back your score tape, and we're going to lay that down. I can pull my score tape. There we go. Guess it helps if I open it up, huh? All right, here we go. So using my little guide as a little cheat sheet thingy here, we're going to just lay it right in there. And okay, once you have it, grab your bone folder and go ahead and burnish between those little gusset areas. Okay. Okay. All right. So now you have your little flaps that you have to worry about, right? So what we're going to do, let's make sure that we have all that nice and okay. So what you're going to do is grab your wet glue, and I'm going to grab this one. I don't know what's wrong with that one. A little bit too runny for me. I don't know why, but I don't like that. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and grab it's a little runny. It just kind of makes it harder. Because it warps. Don't like that. Okay. And of course we have our little gusset from our flap back cover and front cover, so we need to make sure we burnish that in without tearing in. Lift it up carefully and go ahead and burnish that in as you lift up and burnish so that it's gluing down. Okay, do the same thing on the opposite side. Again, I know I have my little gusset area there. Okay, so we're left with that. All right, so now you have your 4 little pages that we're going to attach to this album, and that's your spine. And you make sure everything closes nicely, just like so. Okay, very nice. Okay, so then let's see right there. So then what you're going to do is going to grab 2 pieces of cardstock. Oh, that one's lifting. Oh, my glue is a little bit runny today. 2 pieces of cardstock, just going to cover these down, and they are 3 7/8 by 4 3/8 inch. You need 2 pieces, 3 7/8 by 4 3/8, and they're just going to lay right there with about 1/8 of an inch or so on the side and on the bottom. Okay, so go ahead and grab your glue. And lay it down. And you're going to do the same thing on the others. All right, so we've matted the 2 pieces of cardstock onto the album, and this is what it looks like. At this point, you can put your eyelets if you want, or whatever it is you're going to use for your closure. I'm not going to do it right now. I'm going to take 2 pieces of cardstock to mat it that coordinates with the paper collection Notre Vie from Ciao, and these are 3 3/8 inch by 4 1/8 inch. You need 2 of them. So we're going to go ahead and attach those 2. I had to switch over to my fabric tie for some reason. My glue is a little bit watery. Don't know what that's all about. Okay. Lay it down and then try to hold it into place and then burnish it in so it's not moving. Okay, we're going to do the same thing on the other side. Okay, so now we're going to create the pages, and for the pages you're going to need 8 pieces of cardstock that are 4 by 7 inch, and you're going to score it at 3.5 inch. And you are going to, once you've scored them, you're going to fold them like that. You're going to attach it to your little hinges, just like so. Let me get some of this little glue gummy off of here. So you're going to attach it to your hinge just like so, like that. So fold it and attach it to one side of your hinge just like that. So just on one. Oops. I went to grab for my glue in the wrong area. You can use your score tape if you want. I'm just going to use wet glue just to help me line it up better. And if I need to move it, I can move it. Okay. Make sure it's flushed end to end. Open side up. Just like so. Go ahead and furnish that. Grab your next piece. Fold it. And go ahead and attach that in as well. But what you're going to do is, here's the hinge right here. And here's the second page. What you're going to do is you're going to glue it right down here, but you're going to do just glue up. So you're going to go like in a U shape. Go up this edge. Let me show you. So I'm going to put glue right in here on the hinge, on the 1/2 inch hinge, and then on the edge here, and on the other edge there, like so. Then you're going to take that and you're going to attach it. So in other words, you're leaving a little pocket right there. Okay. And if you get glue, don't forget to just wipe it up. You can take a little clamp and clamp it in if you want. I'm not going to do that. I'm just burnishing it in with my hand, my fingers. And using the bone folder. So there's the first page attached, and then you have a little pocket right there on the side, like so. Okay, we're going to do the same thing for the other ones. Grab 2 pieces that are 4 by 7 that you scored at half. And you're going to put glue on one end of your hinge, attach your first page, make sure it's flushed. Should be even because the hinge is the exact same size as your pages. Okay. Then you're going to do over here, you're going to put some glue. And then up the one side and then on the opposite side. grab your page, lay it right in there. Make sure they're perfectly aligned. There's page 2. So we're going to do that for the rest of the pages. So there's your book. You have your pockets on the side. You have 4 pages. At this point, you can take your rubber eraser and you can just kind of pick up any of the cookie stuff that has a little gummy stuff. I do love using my rubber eraser, as you can tell. Probably do a little bit more off camera, so I'm not shaking the camera. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is we're going to cut some cardstock to mat these pages. You're going to need 24 pieces, and this is the coordinating color. And these pieces measure 3 3/8 inch by 3 7/8 inch, and you're going to need 24 of these pieces. Again, 3 3/8 by 3 7/8, and you need 24. And we're just going to mat that like so. I'm going to do one, and then I'll do the rest off camera, and then we're going to come back. We're going to add some pockets with some little scraps that we had left over, and then we'll start decorating this baby up. And I'll probably show you the finished piece. I'm pretty sure you don't want to see all the decorating process. So we're just going to lay it like so. I think that's one thing I love about using Fabri-Tac, is that it's so gummy, easy to clean. Only thing, hard on your nails. Okay. So kind of lay that down on all your pages, just like that. And then you're going to cut 24 pieces from the Ciao Bella collection that coordinates. And these pieces are 3 1/4 by 3 3/4. 3 1/4 by 3 3/4, sorry. And they are going to be mounted on top, just like so, like that, on all your pages. And you need 24 as well. So I just kind of, like for this, I went in and I kind of went in at 3 3/4. And then I kind of centered it into where the image I wanted. Same thing with her. Kind of went in, scooted in 3 3/4 by 3 3/4 so that I can have her centered in. And I'm going to figure out which of these I want for my front page. Oh, this is the one I wanted for my front page. So we're going to put that one. And you can distress these with your distress ink. I love distressing with my distress ink. I just decided I was going to do something clean and simple for this video tutorial. Typically, I'm a grungy kind of girl, love distressing, but this is doing something outside of the box. Not typical of what I typically do, because like I said, I love distressing and I love grunging up stuff. But I wanted something clean and chic so that it would go really nice with this entire collection. So there's the first page, and I think that front cover is just stunning, telling a little bit of our life. Notre Vie. Okay, and don't forget, guys, if you have not checked out Ciao Bella on their social media platforms, they are on Instagram, they are on Facebook, and they are also here on YouTube. Make sure you subscribe and click on that notification bell, like, share, and let others know of the creative team and all the beautiful inspirational stuff that we have going on for you guys. So just make sure you share the video, share their Facebook page, and if you haven't joined their Facebook group, make sure you do. Make sure we'll link it below. And if you have any questions on this video tutorial, feel free to contact me on Facebook, May Larson, and I would be more than happy to assist you with that. So basically that's what we're going to do. We're just going to go in and place our cardstock with our coordinating Ciao Bella papers, and then we'll come back and we'll do the front. So I'll see you in a bit. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to create some pockets, and to do that we're going to take the scraps that were left over from our pages, and these measure 3 3/8 by 4 inches. 3 3/8 by 4 inches. You're going to need 4 of them, and you're going to score it at 2 inches, and then you're going to kind of fold it down like so. Then you're going to cut some coordinating cardstock to mat it. And these measure 1 7/8 by 3 1/4. And you're going to do top and bottom, just like so. And you're going to need a total of 8 of these cardstock that mats. And then you're going to cut 8 pieces of the Notre Vie Ciao Bella paper collection that measures 1 3/4 by 3 1/8. 1 3/4, and you need 8 of them. 1 3/4 by 3 1/8. Sorry, 3 1/8. 3 1/8. And just make sure that it's facing the right way. It's very important because it's going to be folded. And so in other words, if it has a word, like this one has a word, make sure it's going in the right direction. Okay. So just love the way this collection is coming through. It's so beautiful. Highly recommend it. Highly, highly recommend it. Okay, it looks like a nice little placement card. Okay, next one, last one. And these are going to go on the very last page of each of your signature. You know, if you do little books, you have signatures. Well, you have a total of 4 on this little album that we just created. So it's going to go on the very last page. Make sure you do not put it on the page that has the pocket, side pocket, because then you close out your pocket. So got to go on the very last page, or you can do it on the first page, but you know, it's entirely up to you. Or you can do on both, you know, the first and the last. It's up to you. I like to sew on my pages, but I decided to keep it clean and simple. Very clean, very simple. No distressing, which is kind of different for me, because I'm normally the one that likes to distress and sew and, you know, go all out. But I just wanted something really clean and chic and simple. And right there. Okay, now that all the pockets are assembled, this is what I mean by a signature. You have this one little page, then you have this little page, and then you have the third and the fourth and so on. So on the very last one is where we're going to attach this one, but make sure, always double check, because you know we have the centerpiece has that little side pocket. Just make sure, curiosity killed the cat, just make sure you put something in there. If you're going to be tempted to maybe perhaps stick something in there, just stick something in there just to let you know that that is the middle pocket. You do not want to glue this down to it. So this is the last page on this little unit here, and we're going to do this. Which one do I want? Yeah, maybe I'll go with that one. Or maybe, yeah, let's do this one. All right, so we're going to go right smack down on the side, just on the side, really carefully. Like so. Again, this is double checking. This is my last page. And put it in. Flush to the bottom. Flush to the side. And if you want, you can clip that in there if you think it's going to come undone. Just clip it. I'm just going to burnish it and wish for the best. Alright, get your rubber eraser, get all the gummies out if you want. Okay, we're going to do that on, here's my middle page here. I'm going to grab my next one. Give you some color here. Go with blue. Again, just right down the side. Okay. That page. Flush it top and the bottom and the sides. Make sure it's nice and flushed. Okay, just like so. Do that for all of them, and then we'll be back. Okay, so here is what the album looks like once we've attached the pockets. I think it looks pretty darn adorable. It's absolutely cute. Very, very cute. Now, for the back page, what we're going to do, the inside, we're going to mat it with some coordinating paper that goes with the Ciao Notre Vie, and I've cut two pieces that measures 3.5 by 3 7/8 inch, two pieces, and that's going to go matted in the inside. And then once we get the front and the inside matting done, all that done, I'm going to go ahead and do an eyelet for my closure. Now there's different types of ways to do closures. I just went with to me it's going to be the easiest one, because I would have wanted to put like a belt type of a closure, but Given the circumstances, I could not find those pieces, but that's okay. We do what we can. All right, so there's that. The same thing on the opposite side. My glue is kind of grody right now. It needs to be cleaned. Just want to remind you, if you have not subscribed to the channel, please do so. Check them out. Check Ciao Bella on Instagram. The creative crew is constantly posting motivational, inspirational projects, and they do amazing work. You definitely want to subscribe. Click on the subscribe button and the bell to notify you whenever they upload any of their videos. So that's the inside. Now for the outside, you need 2 pieces of cardstock that measure 3 3/8 by 4 3/8. You need 2 pieces. I'm going to do the spine, and the spine measures, the cardstock measures 1 7/8 by 4 3/8. 1 7/8 by 4 3/8. And you can also put a little eyelet at the spine and hang some type of a dangle or charm. Y'all know me, I love those dangles and those charms. We kept it clean and simple today. Clean and simple. Sometimes a little, just a little goes a long way. And I think it was just perfect to go clean and simple with this project. There we go. You can put a little eyelet there, add a little chunky charm or something, a dangle to hang down from the spine. It'd be so cute. Then you're going to need 2 pieces that are from the Ciao Bella collection that are 3 3/4 by 4 1/4. And for the spine, you need 1 piece that's 1 3/4 by 4 1/4. Go ahead and put this in. Actually from my back. Cute little bike. Absolutely stunning. I love the colors. The design concept behind is so beautiful. Very, very beautiful. The quality of their paper is just stunning and amazing. It's just an amazing overall company. You guys have to check it out if you haven't done so already. Like, share, subscribe, follow them on Instagram, follow them on Facebook. Absolutely stunning. I love, 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 love how it looks. Isn't that beautiful? So now we have the eyelets, and for the eyelets, what I'm going to do is I'm going to measure about 1/8 of an inch in and 2/4 of an inch in the center. So let's see if I can bring it closer to me. Okay, let's get my pencil. marking there. Do the same thing on the opposite side. So beautiful. And now I have my crocodile, and I just kind of use something that kind of coordinates with the colors. So I'm going to go ahead and okay, so here's the album. I'm going to do the final little touches, which is just taking a little bit of paint and just going in, dry brushing on the flowers that I have here, and then I'm just going to do a little bit of splatter, and this is just to give that little finishing touch, and then we should be all done with this beautiful album using the Ciao Notre Vie paper collection that is absolutely breathtaking, and it is definitely one that you can use if you're trying to create an album to share the story of a loved one, or you know, if you're making like a wedding album or something like that. It's definitely a beautiful little collection. There's the album. Looks like she's out on a snowy day. And here's the inside. So for the scene binding here, I just took 22 inches for the cover and 22 inches for the back cover, and just wrapped it around to create that. And then in the inside I didn't do too much. I added these little tags so that whoever gets it can write or add pictures there, and there's these little tags on the side that I had from my personal stash. This is from the ephemera collection of the Notre Vie. I added a little brad there and punched out that with paper punch that I had. And over here again, these are from the collection, and then there's that. There's a lot of journaling space and a lot of space for you to add pictures. That's again from the collection. I added a little brad there for a little added touch. Over here, same thing, just from the collection. And then over here, another tag. I was going to add some ribbon there, but it kind of went bulky with the seam binding. So there's another tag over here. Enough journaling space. More tags there. And over here I added one of the labels, and I put some chipboard in the back to give it dimensional, and 2 brads just to give it that nice effect there. And then there's another. Very simple, very easy, and I just used the 2 collections, actually 2 of the 8x8, and I still have plenty left over, and I use that to create both the box and the album, and still had plenty left over. So I hope this inspired you to want to create one, and don't forget to subscribe, like, and share to Ciao. And if you have any questions, feel free to send me a message, and I hope this inspired you to create one. Till next time, guys. Bye-bye.